I just received this UDIAG A200 diagnostics tool that seems to be capable of doing almost everything in a very compact package. Is it as good as they say it is? Let's find out. So obviously we see it's one of these handhelds, so you can hold it in one hand. I do like that. It's very easy to store in your car when you just need it, and you don't have to have a big tablet that needs to be charged all the time. Obviously pluses and minuses here, but yeah, I like the ergonomic design here. It also seems to be very thin, so it will fit in your glove box compartment. They claim to be OE level scan tool, and that's what I'm saying. It sounds like they can do a lot with the scanner in a small package, but of course we're gonna find out. So there's two different versions, A100 and A200. I have the A200 version, and it seems like the difference here is that, well, A100 has all of these options, and then A200 adds additional stuff here. So here we just have the standard functionality that most OBD2 scanners have, such as read and clear codes and data streams and things like that, but this is specific for the engine and sometimes the transmission modules and nothing else. And here they add the OE level diagnostics, which means you will be able to read every module on most vehicles, and that's kind of the difference between A100 and A200. And of course there's some extra stuff here as well. You can do oil resets, you can do some immobilizer programming, injector coding, and a few other things like that. Even seems like battery configuration, so we'll check that out. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's open it up, see what it looks like, and then go down to the car and get it, get it tested. Okay, so here is the device itself. It is indeed pretty slim, so I do like that. It's not very thick. Pretty easily you can hold it in one hand and even use it one-handed. It has these covered keys, so no dirt and grime can get in. I like that on some of them, as long as the keys are responsive, and these seem to be. It has a silicone rubber type cover on top. Very easy to hold so it doesn't slip out of your hand. We have a micro SD card on the side here and a mini USB cable, probably for updating. And of course the OBD2 port here at the top. Okay, there is no battery or charging or anything like that. Here is the cable that goes from the device to the car. And we have a user manual. Seems more like a quick start guide, but it tells you what each key does. Make sure the ignition in your car is turned on and the engine is off. And obviously the car is charged up and the battery is not gonna die while you're doing this. Yeah, just a little bit more information here, nothing too complicated. And if you need to update, looks like you'll have to create an account, download their software, and then you'll be able to update it. And this is what you would use to upgrade the scanner. You would take the micro SD card out of the scanner, plug that into this adapter, and then plug that into the car. Well, on that note, let's go plug this into a car and see how well it works. All right, so I am in my BMW i3. I just plugged it in, and here's what pops up after you update the software through the micro SD card on your computer. When I first plugged it in without updating anything, the BMW software was not there, so that's something to note. Now let's just go over the menu and see what we can do with this device. First, I'm gonna go to setup just so I can get rid of the beep. I don't really like the beep, so we're gonna go in here first and turn that off. In here we can also switch the units from metric to English. I'll stick with the English, that's fine. Here are all the languages that are available in case that's important to you. All right, so that's that. Of course, we can test the keys and the LCD and just have some more information about the device if that's important to you. We can also play back some of the data if there was something in here, but obviously I haven't scanned anything yet, so we're just gonna back out of that. This first option right here, OBD2, this will allow you to do the standard scanning, so what most standard OBD2 scanners can do, as well as the IM readiness. So this is for emissions. This will tell you if your car is ready to pass emissions. So either it's not available, which is fine, or it's okay to pass emissions, which is 7 on this car, and none of them are inconclusive. So this car is good to go. This one would pass emissions. Okay, we can hit OK, and here you have 4 different modules that you can scan using the standard OBD protocol. We're not going to be doing that since I've done this 1,000 times and it's basically all the same, but yes, it is very fully functional there in the OBD2 functions. For me though, I am a lot more interested in these two options. So the first one, we're going to go in and see what we can find in here. We'll give it a second to load, and it loads pretty quick. So we're going to go to BMW. I'll go to manual selection, but yes, it does have auto VIN. manual selection. I just find this goes faster for me. I-series, this is the i01, which is the BMW i3. And now it's just going to connect to the vehicle and show us what modules are available. Here we can do the auto scan, so this will basically scan all modules in all systems. We can do control units, so we can go in and select the control unit based on the system right here, or we can go to service, but we'll do that just in a little bit. So let's do auto scan first, and we'll let it scan the entire system. So I can't say this is the fastest scanner I've ever seen, but it does scan every module for every system on the vehicle. And once everything is scanned, you are presented with all of the modules that it was able to find and connect to. So we do have a couple of faults here, so we can do quick erase and just erase all of the faults on all of the modules. We can save this into basically like a PDF kind of stuff where we saw data manager in the beginning, and we can also display the DTCs for that specific module without having to go deeper into it. So for example, for the engine, we can go in and see what it is. So we'll go into the engine module. Then we can go to read codes. And this will tell us that driving readiness information cannot be established after. So yeah, there is a code. Here is the code number. It's a little bit hard to see on camera, but yeah, you can save it. So we can save that. Boom. Okay, now it's saved, so you can check it in the data manager later. Of course, we can also go in and erase that code. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and erase it. Done. Codes are erased. Also, we can see live data, and we can do active testing. So this is pretty cool, but we'll go to instrument cluster just to show you a little bit more information there. I think it's a little bit easier to demonstrate it. So if we go to live data, of course, you can get live data for every single module on the vehicle, and that's very important. But okay, we can go to, let's say, general. There should be more information on here. Yeah, so we can go to onboard computer, outside, temperature, revolution counter, and total distance. All right, let's do that. Select all, view data, and here you can actually see some of the data being populated. As an example, so the BC button is just right here, and I'm gonna press it. And there you go. So see, it showed 128, which means that the button is being pressed. That's definitely working, and it's pretty accurate. It's pretty quick to show you when the button is pressed and when it's not. And why is that important? Well, if you're troubleshooting anything, let's say some sensor or a hall sensor or anything like that, if you want to know if it's actually working, let's say you're closing the door and the lights are not going off, you can see if that sensor is working by using this device, which is obviously very helpful. And yes, you can graph stuff that's graphable. So we can go graph and do two graphs, and the two graphs looks like it's the max, and we can merge them as well. So two graphs on the same thing. We're gonna go back to the functions menu, and if we go to active test, let's see what we can do with that. And once here, we can basically activate anything that's the car allows you to activate on the vehicle. For example, we can go to flasher function, and we can activate all turn signals. So if you just click OK on that, and then I'm going to click activate, and we should see them blink just right there. There it is. And then I can hit deactivate, and it stops. Okay, so you can do things like that, but basically on any module. So you can activate injectors, or rather you can deactivate injectors. You can start a coolant fan, or you can run the coolant pump, obviously depending on the car, if it's electric and if it supports it. But yeah, very cool stuff in here. We can even change the fuel gauge, so we can change the fuel gauge to 80%. So yeah, you can just do tests like that, but basically on everything. Yeah, now it's 80%. I think you can see it kind of. So that's very cool information that you would not be able to see on many other scanners. So this is what makes it bi-directional, and what a lot of people pay a lot of money for, because this will allow you to activate certain relays and lights and LEDs and whatever else on different modules within the computer system. Okay, so now we'll just do a quick erase to see how long that takes. Okay, so it looks like it's going to each module, erasing it, and then rechecking to see if there's anything left, any codes left. And after about 30 seconds, it has gone through all of them and erased whatever it could erase. Pretty cool. So yeah, if you go through them, you see most of them are now gone, and it has actually rechecked that same module as well. All right, so I think you definitely get the idea here of what it can do. It can do live data, it can do activation tests, and it can read individual modules and erase codes on them. So next we can just go to service and see what we can find in here. And here you basically have service functions that you would have from the original manufacturer, so like OE functions. So you can put like transport mode on, you can go to drive, and you can do a lot of cool things actually. So once we're in the drive, you can go to engine start, and here you can do things like register the starter exchange or reset starter lock, and of course a few other things that you can see on the screen. And it's going to be the same for different parts of the vehicle. So like the chassis, you can change the steering angle sensor or the parking brake, so you can activate the electric parking brake so it rewinds back. You can change the brake pads and a lot of different items in here as well, or activate front steering. You know, once again, steering angle, we're back to the beginning, I believe. And we also have the same stuff for the body, so you can do heating and air conditioning functions. Let's see if that's supported on this vehicle. Well, okay, this one isn't. So there will be definitely functions on here that are not supported on all vehicles. But yeah, let's check out some other ones. For example, we can initialize headlight driver module. So if you're changing headlights and things like that, there are a lot of things that are very useful here for testing. Let's see, seat adjustment normalize. So if you have issues with the seats, yeah, so lots of cool functions in there. But let's go all the way back and see what else we have under this menu right here. So if you go under this menu, we will be presented with some of the special functions that are supported by the vehicle, or at least supported by this device. Vehicle probably can do a lot more, but yeah, pretty cool functions in here as well. So you have ABS bleeding, battery resets, you can register batteries, stuff for the diesel brake pad replacement. So this will allow you to wind back once again the the e-brake. We have adaptive gearbox. So if your gearbox gets used to how you drive, you can reset it before you sell the car, so it kind of acts like a new car almost. You can even program keys, probably not in BMW. I haven't found one scanner that would work perfectly for BMWs, but yeah, for a lot of cars you can do that. You can do injector coding and determination. You can reset the oil service light, the steering angle sensor, sunroof reset, suspension adaptation, tire pressure reset. Obviously there's a lot of stuff, but yeah, definitely pretty cool. There's a decent amount of functionality in this scanner. I'm pretty impressed with the build quality. It feels pretty nice in the hand, very nice non-slip cover on it, so that's nice. The screen is pretty good. It doesn't look as good on the camera, but the contrast is good, so you can easily read all of the wording on it. Yeah, I like the screen. We can also go back to playback and see if it's saved that that PDF, the report that we ran. And it has, so if you go to BMW, there it is. So we can go to that and click on it, and it will actually show us that saved fault code that we wanted to save. And of course, you can print it if you connect it to a computer. So what are some of the negatives of this device? Well, there is no Wi-Fi or anything like that. So if you want to update it, you have to connect it to a computer. If you want to print anything, you have to connect it to a computer. You get the idea, right? But the good thing about that is once it's working, nothing can change it, right? Like, it will continue to work. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. If you'd like to purchase one yourself or check more information about it, check the links down in the description. If you like this video, why not check out this awesome video from my channel? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.